Welcome to Interface here on SABC2. My name is Thembi Samachele. Well, 2 weeks ago, here on this program, we discussed the political turmoil in Lesotho. You will remember that. We heard from a member of one of the opposition parties. He raised various concerns that the opposition in that country has about the government. Well, this week, we hear from the Lesotho government itself and also get a sense of how that country is resolving the crisis and the tensions that they're experiencing. But before we get into the discussion with Dr. Likoti, who's our guest today on Interface, and he's the advisor to the Lesotho Prime Minister, let's share with you this clip from our previous broadcast in which the allegations against the government were made. First, if you could just paint a picture of what's going on in Lesotho, because that was my opening line. The reason I ask is because we're reading that Lesotho is descending into chaos. Is that the case?
Thembi, I think it's an unfortunate truth that the security situation in Lesotho is such that we, the citizens of Lesotho, don't really have a clear picture as to where the country is going. Immediately after the 2015 February elections, we all had the expectation that we would see an improvement in the security situation in Lesotho. Seeing that the deterioration of the security situation was one of the things that led the SADC facilitator, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa, to bring the elections forward. Instead of seeing a significant improvement in the security situation in Lesotho, we have seen now a drastic deterioration in the situation. And it has been exemplified most recently by the murder of the former commander of the Lesotho Defense Force, Lieutenant General Maparangwe Mahao.
Well, that was a snippet from a discussion that we had here on Interface with Mr. Molapo, who is from the opposition Basotho National Party, talking about their views on political challenges in that country. Now we welcome Dr. Likoti, who is a political scientist, as well as the advisor to the Lesotho Prime Minister, Pakadita Mosisiri. Thank you very much for your time and welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
So you heard that Sinseta that we played there. How do you respond to what the opposition is saying?
Well, I think what my response will be that what is unfortunate is that a member of Lesotho Parliament and a former minister and a deputy president of a political party from Lesotho comes to here and say Lesotho has a security situation, security problem. Lesotho is a very peaceful country. Unlike some other countries, like you can quote Yemen, Central African Republic, Burundi, and the rest. Lesotho is very secure, it's very peaceful. You go to Lesotho, you move smoothly, business are opening The government is providing basic health services, everything basic. Services.
I hear you, Dr. Likoti, but yes. He's not the only person that's making these allegations. Some members of the opposition are also alleging that they're under siege in your country, that the current leadership of the government is not treating them well. Okay.
Yes, you are talking about the members of the opposition being under siege.
Right.
This is also another challenge to me, because, for instance, we have some of our leaders who are in South Africa now. I don't know whether they are refugees or they are exiled, I don't know. But what I know is that the very people who have been very eloquent about the fact that they are under siege, and they are talking from South Africa. They attend funerals in Lesotho. They address political rallies in Lesotho calling their supporters, and some of them have been doing their hair, for instance, last week in Lesotho. I mean, take, for instance, the former Prime Minister, Honorable Tom Thabane. It is only last week when he applied for a salary advance. You know, there is an entitlement that you get from Parliament. And some of these people, they even consult their doctors in Lesotho. The car that Honorable Thabane is driving, for instance, it gets filled in Lesotho. His driver gets paid in Lesotho.
So the point you're making is that they are safe.
I really don't understand the fuss about all this issue of running away, being under siege. I will plead with everybody to go back home and do what is right for their own country. I mean, the government of Lesotho has appointed senior ministers, you know, together with to collaborate with the Christian Council of Lesotho to talk to these people who feel insecure so that we can know what is making them insecure. I think it is wise for everybody to go back and try to normalize any situation that they feel is abnormal, because as it is now, Lesotho is very peaceful.
But one of the allegations that they're making is that the security forces in your country are allowed to run amok, are allowed to inflict all sorts of terror on opposition party leaders, and the government is just standing by and allowing that to happen.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what does that mean. By saying security services is running amok. You can go to Lesotho, you can ask anybody in the past 4 months whether they've been stopped at any roadblock and searched by the army. You can walk in Lesotho at any corner. I don't think you can see any soldier going around with a rifle anywhere. You don't even see that. Now, I don't understand this imagined insecurity, where it comes from. So I think people, if really should go back home and be ruled and be governed and be part of the development of Lesotho. That's what we ask, and nothing more.
And the death of Brigadier Mahao? How do you
Well, the death of Brigadier Mahao, it's one tragic incident that took place. And I don't think it's fair for Brigadier Mahao himself, for people to drag his name into politics, to politicize his death to the effect that even his burial, he was not even accorded a proper military burial, because some people politicize his funeral, his death, which is unfortunate. And people are trying to get sympathy votes. You know, people in politics like to get sympathy votes all the time. But I think this is really unfortunate. People should let Brigadier Mahao rest in peace and his relatives heal properly, and they should stop talking about him, because really the issue of Brigadier Mahao is not a politician. He's a military officer.
But I'm glad you mentioned the family, because some of his family members have come out in the media saying that the government has been reluctant to investigate, the government is dragging its feet on this matter. How
can the government be reluctant when the government was the first to approach its regional partners, SADC for instance, to assist it together with South Africa, with pathologists, with the commission, and the commission has just started now. Now things are, in order to establish what really took place, what is going on, because we want to investigate all these things that people are complaining about. And this does not mean there is insecurity in Lesotho. I mean, right now is winter. We expect people to go to Lesotho and see the snow and do skiing and invest in Lesotho. It's a beautiful country.
I must tell you, that's one of the most interesting things I've heard about your country having snow. I'm looking forward to going skiing.
It's the only country in Africa which has snow. You can ski all the time.
Oh, well, we will get back to chatting a little bit more about what's happening in Lesotho, but we have to take a short break right now and also invite our viewers to participate in the discussion by finding us on social media. If you want to find us on Facebook, it's very easy. You just find @Interface on SABC2. On Twitter, it's @Tembisa or @Interface on SABC. We are back after this. Welcome back. This is Interface, and tonight we are talking about the situation in Lesotho. You'll remember 2 weeks ago we had the opposition in studio and they made some allegations against the government in Lesotho. Tonight, Dr. Likoti is the advisor to the Lesotho Prime Minister, Pakadita Mosisili, and he is here to give us the views of the government. Before the break, you were saying, sir, that there's peace in Lesotho, everything is all good and well. If that is the case, why would the SADC Troika recommend that there be security reforms and constitutional reforms in your country?
You may recall that when this new government came in, one of the things that they talked about was that, judging from what happened in the last government, that what we need to do now, we have a very old constitution that needs to be changed. We need to also change the civil service, try to revamp our civil service to make it in keeping with the current development. And security, of course. Reform is something that keeps going on, that we keep doing all the time in government. And of course, we have realized that in the past government, the government had some challenges maybe with the security. So in order to address those challenges, one has to go back to the drawing board and try to see what can be done in order to ensure that the security is accepted or it's acceptable to everybody. So that is why we needed to do security reform. And one of the things that we actually highlighted was the fact that we are going to look at our constitution and look at our security reforms, look at our civil service, how they are all functioning, in order to put them in, to modernize them, to put them in what, you know, to make them in keeping with modern developments.
Okay.
Yes.
So why would it also be that you have the Deputy President of South Africa mandated by SADC to go through and bring some kind of political resolve in your country, but he needs to go there time and time again because you're not finding common ground with the opposition?
Well, I think we also have to remember that we approach SADC, right, to assist us in this endeavor that we're engaged in at the moment, right? But what we have really, the truth must be told. We have people who pretended that they have accepted election results, but now they are beginning to show signs of the fact that they did not actually accept the public verdict. So this is why you see or you hear all these noises made by different people saying there's no security. You go to Lesotho, you go anywhere you like, and you find peace and tranquility. Now you start to ask yourself, what is going on? The fact of the matter is that after elections, people wanted the ruling party or the party that is leading the coalition to coalesce with the ABC. That is the party that is actually the leader of the opposition, that has provided the leader of the opposition. Now, because that did not happen, there are some people who are very upset about that, and therefore you see some people conspiring to destabilize the current government. This is what is taking place.
It would have been great to have you and the opposition in studio at the same time.
Yeah, because
you would be able to counter
like
the issues that
I've
they
already said earlier that you have people who are saying they've run away from Lesotho because they are threatened. But when you look at this closely, you see them attending funeral, doing all these things, going to Lesotho and coming back all the time. And now you started to worry what is going on here.
Now, the Commission of Inquiry that we spoke about a little bit earlier into the death of Brigadier Mahao, there were terms of reference and issues with the terms of reference for that commission. Now we hear in today's reports that there is some sort of finality on those terms of reference. Is the government going to accept the SADC terms of reference going forward?
Well, the issue of terms of reference is something that is done by all parties, isn't it?
Yes, but I'm asking you the view of the government.
Yeah, yeah. What is happening is that you see the government has drawn the terms of reference in consultation with SADC, right, with the Troika. Right? They might have had some of the additional terms of reference, right? And as you know, in this type of thing, in this type of commission, as the investigation continues, there are some, some adaptation. Sometimes you have to adapt some terms of reference, remove others, include others,
But the question I'm asking is, can the government or has the government committed to the terms of reference as they currently stand?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Because the government initiated this. How can government initiate this inquiry and thereafter refuse to accept?
So in spite of the adaptations that you're calling for, you will accept the terms of reference?
Yeah, you will accept the terms of reference because they're working together with SADC, with of course, the facilitator.
And as the commissioners are starting their work, what kind of support are you lending them?
Well, the first thing that you have to do is to issue the gazette, which has been issued. And of course, you give them all the logistical arrangements that are needed. So this is what the government has provided. And it actually shows that the government is willing, there is a political will to assist the work of the commission. And I don't see why people should be worried about about the fact that the government might renege on that. I mean, the government, it is the government which actually brought this commission.
Now, let's talk a little bit about SADC and the work that it's been doing there, also the work that's been done by the Deputy President of South Africa. Are you satisfied with the interventions of SADC in your country?
Oh, yes. We've always, I mean, this is not the first time we work with SADC. Remember, we're a member of SADC, and SADC work with all the countries within the SADC region, and Lesotho is not an exception. SADC has been in Madagascar, SADC has been in DRC.
Yes, we're aware, but are you satisfied with the way that they've handled this current turmoil?
Yes, I remember even the Prime Minister, after taking an oath of office, even congratulated Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa about the work that he has done.
The reason I ask is because the opposition, in the interview that we had here in studio, were alleging that the government is not taking the SADC recommendations seriously, the recommendations on the constitutional and security reforms in particular.
Well, I can't talk for the opposition, but I think Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa is the one who has the legitimate right to say that. But as far as I'm aware, the government is doing well. It's working very well.
And is taking the recommendations seriously?
Yes.
All right, we have to take another short break. Remember that if you would like to participate, you can always do so by finding us on Facebook at Interface on SABC2, or on Twitter at Tembisa Magele, or at Interface on SABC. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Interface, and we are wrapping up our conversation with Dr. Likoti, who is a spokesperson at the moment for the Lesotho government. He is the advisor to the Prime Minister of Lesotho. And we have been inviting your thoughts on Facebook and also on Twitter. We'll read some of those and also get some responses from him on what you have had to say. So let's go straight into those. Ratsulo Tulo says, we appreciate the gesture of your guest, the Good Samaritan, Dr. Likoti, but we shall await the government's response through its spokesperson on the subject under discussion. So there's no direct question there. Ausitabang Ramamurena says, I do suspect the government is behind the abductions and killings because no arrests have been made in connection with Brigadier Mahau's murder. Yet we are told it was an official operation. Care to respond to that one?
Well, the whole issue of the commission is among other functions, is to investigate that death. And then it will make recommendations to SADC. And then after those recommendations, the Lesotho government will be able to act on that one.
Was it an official operation?
It's the army operation. And yes, you know, army as an independent institution, all what they do, they inform the government about that they are doing some operations, but the government doesn't intervene in the military operations itself. But it knows that there's some operation, like they reported to the government that there is some mutiny investigation that they are doing, and they were going to arrest some people. So during this arrest, it was during this time that these unfortunate incidents took place. But what we are saying is that the commission is here. It has started its work. It's going to tell us why these tragic incidents took place, and then also suggest what we should do so that this thing should not recur again. I think that is very important, because nobody wants to see this type of thing happening again.
How long is the work of the commission?
The commission has been given 60 days. Yes, it has been given 60 days.
All right, we have another question which says, we haven't heard anything about the shooting of Thabiso Tsotsane, who is the funder of the main opposition party.
Well, I don't know whether he's really the funder of the main opposition alone. As far as I know, he has been funding a lot of
Point
parties.
is, he's a prominent businessman.
Yes, he has been helping a lot of people.
What has been done to look into his death?
I think the police has been doing the investigation. The police were very quick in doing the investigation of that unfortunate death as well.
When are we likely to hear of the results of that investigation?
Well, once again, I mean, it's only the police, when they are done with the investigation and arrested the culprits and put them before the courts of law, that's when we'll be able to know.
Are the police dragging their feet on this
matter?
matter?
No, they are not dragging their feet at all. the police were very quick to do the investigation regarding this death.
Sitabang Ramamorena, I hope you are satisfied with that response.
Yeah, it's a matter of police, really. I don't know. I don't understand why people keep saying the government, you know. Well, I know the government is in charge of the police, of course.
The police, yes.
Yes, of course, the government has to account for that. But everybody knows that the police have been doing the investigation in regard to that death.
Have the police or has the government been imprisoning the opposition party members?
No. I don't know. Maybe you can tell us who has been imprisoned. As far as I'm aware, as far as I know, nobody has been imprisoned. And I think in the past 15 years of the reign of, or 14 years of the reign of Dr. Paketja Mosisili, he has never imprisoned any political prisoner. We never had any political prisoner. Lesotho doesn't have political prisoners. And I don't know where this one comes from.
Opposition party leaders who have fled your country, can they return? Is it safe?
They can walk back anytime. You see, we really need them because now the parliament is about to resume now. And my fear is that, you know, if you are a parliamentarian and you are absent from parliament for 3 months, there is this issue of by-elections. So I don't want those things to happen to them, really. I would strongly urge them to go back home, to go back to negotiation, because, you know, the Christian Council of Lesotho, together with the 2 ministers appointed by the government, trying to mediate so that they can come home. Honorable Dr. Thabane did not attend some of the talks. I urge him to come back home, or if there is talks, he goes to the talks and attend to them.
Now, you've just started as advisor to the Prime Minister, and there's been some controversy over the advisory role in Lesotho's government, particularly the Office of the Prime Minister and the involvement of the Gupta family and all of that. What do you have to say to that?
Well, the involvement of the Gupta family was related to the previous Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Thabane. It was him, and together with his advisors, who involved that family. And for us at the time, we strongly objected to the involvement of that family to be given a diplomatic passport and, you know, and the likes.
So as you are entering into this role, how are you hoping to have influence as an advisor in light of all the controversy that's happened?
You see, the challenge I'm facing is that I'll be working with a man who is highly experienced and who has been in politics for a very long time, longer than me. So I think I'm looking forward to learn more from him than he learning from me. So I think I'll take it from there. I'm going with open hands, and I'll do everything that he wants me to do. And of course, like I said, I'm going to be learning a lot from him.
We'll keep our eyes and ears posted on this one, Dr. Afako Likoti, because this is a very important country, not only in SADC or on the continent, but it's important to South Africa as well. We mentioned 2 weeks ago that Johannesburg in particular gets most of its water from Lesotho, but also it's important to have peace and stability in all of the countries in the SADC region. So we are wishing you everything of the best going forward.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, you are invited to come to Lesotho.
I will come skiing in Lesotho. I can't wait to do that. Thank you very much for coming through to talk to us on this matter. And that's how we come to the end of our program this week. Remember that if you would like to continue the conversation, let's do so on social media. From me, Tembisa Machele, and the team, goodbye.